Well, hello there. My name is Beth Gaff, and I am the Systems Administrator, Technology Trainer, and Robotics Instructor here at the Peabody Public Library, located in Columbia City, Indiana. First and foremost, I want to thank you for being a part of our class today. You are on your way. These are great steps for you to become more familiar with your computer, as well as being able to educate yourself on those items that you want to know more about. The library has partnered with Grow with Google to provide you with classes to kind of make your everyday life go a little bit easier. So Grow with Google has also provided us with some free tools and resources so you can get used to being connected when you may be working remotely. So today's class is all about working remotely, collaborating, meeting, and working. So there's a lot of stuff to cover today. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and let's dive in. We all know working remotely often means working from home. So before we jump into the Google class today, let's start to go over a few tips that can make it easier for you to work from your home. One of the first things, as far as our tips go, would be to keep your routine. If you'd normally wake up, work out, and take a shower before work, keep doing that. Maintain regular hours. Set a schedule and try to keep to it. Keeping your routine will help with a sense of normalcy. You can also create a dedicated workspace. Find a spot to go to work in your home at the same place every day. If you don't have the luxury of a dedicated office at home, at least go to the same place at a table every day, even if you do have to clean it up after dinner time. Just don't bring your laptop to the couch one day and then your recliner to the next day. Make sure to have lunch and breaks. Make sure you add them to your schedule. It's too easy to eat at your desk when you're at home. Also, don't sit in front of your computer for 8 solid hours. Every hour or so, stand up and walk around to give your body and your eyes a break. Make sure you have the tools you need to be productive. Think about the office supplies you use in a normal workday. Make a list and make sure you have them as part of your home office. Create a daily to-do list. At the end of your workday, write your to-do list for the next day. This will help keep you from popping back to your computer to do just one more thing. Give your coworkers a bit of grace. If they're working from home too, there may be background noise, dogs barking, interruptions from children and family members, knocks at the door, phone calls from our friends. So just roll with it. And if those distractions happen to you, don't worry or stress about it. Most importantly, when your workday is done, close up shop. Remember, at the end of the day, if you are not at work, don't work. Today I'm going to share Google tools that help you stay productive no matter where you are so you can successfully collaborate, meet, and work remotely. First, I'll talk about Google Meet and Calendar to help you communicate from anywhere. Then I'll go over Google Drive and how to collaborate with people on the same files from anywhere. Last, I'll introduce some additional Google training resources to help you learn from anywhere. Many of you have heard Google Workshop, former called G Suite, a collection of products designed for workplace collaboration, storage, communication, and more. Everything I'm going to show you today works with both Google Workspace and what Google calls the consumer version of these tools. That's what you probably call your regular Google account or maybe your personal Google account. In the few places where things are different, I'll let you know. To use any of the Google tools I'm going over today, you need to be signed into your Google account. If you don't have a Google account, You can set one up for free. You can choose to get a new Gmail email address, or you can use another email address you already have to register for a Google account by visiting accounts.google.com/sign up. And that's there, right down there on the quick tip, how to create a new Google account at the bottom of our slide. If your business employer uses Google Workspace, you may have an email address that doesn't look like a Gmail address, but is still a Google account. If you aren't sure if your work email is Google Workspace or not, check with your team at work. And this is just showing you here how you can sign into your Google account. So you would first put your email in, and then you would be able to put your password in. Let's start off with learning how to communicate from wherever you are. Oops, I jumped ahead. First up is Google Meet, a tool for video conferencing. You're probably used to meeting with coworkers, clients, team, or even friends face-to-face, maybe in a conference room or over coffee. But that's not always possible when everyone is working from a different place. Unlike a regular phone call or audio conference call, Google Meet gives you some of the benefits of face-to-face meetings even when you can't be in the same room. It's easy to set up a video conference in Meet and share the link with the people who you want to attend. Anyone can join a video call in Meet, even if they don't have a Google account. And setting up a Meet is available to everyone who has a Google account, even if it isn't Google Workspace account. You need to be signed into Google to create a video meeting, but you do not need Google account to participate in a Meet video call. If you have an existing account, for example, if you're a @gmail.com user, sign in at meet.google.com to get started. If you don't have a free Google account, you can create one by using your work or personal email of choice. This is a required step as a security measure, and you'll only need to do this once. You can create a Google account at accounts.google.com or in that area that we were just in. With Meet, people can access your meeting from their computer, tablet, or smartphone. You don't need any plugins or special software. If you're connected to the internet, you can connect on Meet. As you see in the screenshot here, when you're looking at Meet on the phone, you'll see your scheduled calls under the video screen. Because so many people are working from home right now, Google is extending advanced Meet capabilities to all Google Workplace customers. That means that people who use Meet through Google Workplace can have meetings with up to 250 participants, and they can record meetings too. For individuals, it's up to 100 participants. All conferences in Meet are encrypted, and the security features are turned on by default, so that in most cases, you won't have to do anything to ensure the right protections are in place. Some of the security measures that would be taken: Google Meet employs an array of counter-abuse protections to keep your meetings safe. These include anti-hijacking measures for both web meetings and dial-ins. To limit the attack surface and eliminate the need to push out frequent security patches, Google Meet works entirely in your browser. This means we do not require or ask for any plugins or software to be installed if you use Chrome, Firefox, Safari, or Microsoft Edge. On mobile, we recommend using the app. In Google Meet, all data is encrypted in transit by default between the client and Google for video meetings on a web browser, on the Android and iOS apps, and in meeting rooms with Google Meeting Room hardware. So to help ensure data security and privacy, Meet supports the following encryption measures. So this is a section that we're just going to kind of leave out. It's just talking about all the encrypted, transit, defaulted. But mainly I wanted you to know about those security measures so that you feel safe when you're actually using the product. So this side compares the free version of Google Meet with paid plans. Paid plans refers to Google Workshop accounts, formerly G Suite, or a special option called Workspace Essentials that includes Google's productivity tools, which are Meet, Doc, Slides, Sheets, and so on. For businesses who want to use their own email and calendar system, such as Microsoft Outlook. As you can see, the free version allows up to 100 meeting participants in a meeting. Meetings can be up to 1 hour, and there's no limit on the number of meetings. For paid Google Workspace accounts, meetings can hold up to 250 attendees and allow you to record meetings depending on the plan. This presentation includes info about free and paid features. The Meet interface might look slightly different depending on the version you use. So you can always visit Google Workspace pricing to learn more about those prices and plans that are available to you. Having a Google Meet video conference rather than an audio call helps people feel connected. If you haven't tried Meet, there are some ways that you can use it. You're probably used to having in-person brainstorming meetings with your team. Just try them in Meet. If you normally meet with clients in person, encourage your clients to schedule consultations with you via Google Meet. You can even host online classes or virtual get-togethers with Meet. Like a lot of Google tools, there are different ways to connect with Google Meet. I'm going to show you 2 ways to join a Meet video call. No matter how you access Meet, you'll have a variety of options that you can use. Option 1 is using Google Meet. The easiest way to access Meet is through meet.google.com. This way is perfect for impromptu meetings and conversations. From meet.google.com, and you can see that at the top, all you have to do is click Join or Start a Meeting. In the image on the screen, they've highlighted New Meeting on the left and Join a Meeting on the right. Remember that you don't need a Google account to participate in Meet video meetings. But if you don't have a Google account, the meeting organizer or someone from the organization must grant you access to the meeting. If you're not signed into a Google or Gmail account, you can't join using your mobile device. So just keep that in mind as you're going along. Option 2 would be to use your Google Calendar. If you want to schedule a meeting in advance, even if it's later the same day, you can do that through your Google Calendar. This is the second way to schedule a Google Meet. You can find your Google Calendar at calendar.google.com. Once you're in your calendar, double-click on the time and day when you want the meeting, add the title, and start filling in the details. Click Add Google Meet Video Conferencing as highlighted on the slide in front of you. So then it would automatically add it. If you're using Google Workspace, the process of setting up a meeting is very similar. When you click the arrow next to Join with Google Meet, you'll see the option to join the meeting by phone. This screenshot here shows you what setting up a Meet looks like from your Google Workspace version. Within your meeting, you can also click the More Options link to add more information about the meeting. This is highlighted on the image on the screen here. You can add guests by entering their email addresses. You can add notes and other options. When you finish setting up the meeting, make sure to select Save. When you save the meeting on your calendar, everyone you invited to the meeting will get an email invitation that looks like the image on the screen with the meeting link highlighted. They'll have the option to accept or decline the invitation. If you go back into the meeting on your own calendar, you'll see who has replied yes and who has said no and who has not replied at all. When it's time to actually start your meeting, go back to your calendar, click on the meeting, then click Join with Google Meet. The image on the screen here shows the button you can click within the calendar entry. Everyone you invited to the meeting can also access the link from their calendar, or they can go to their email and join the meeting from the link there. So they'll have it in two spots as well. When you click on the link, you'll see a screen similar to this image with a big button that says Join Now. As you can see, people can join the meeting from their computer or smartphone. Not everyone has a camera on their phone, but nearly everyone does. Oh, I'm sorry. Not everyone has a camera on their computer, but nearly everyone does on their phone. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this. Google Meet features. You just saw different ways to initiate a Google Meet video call. Let's look at different features of Google Meet. Here's a screenshot of how Google Meet looks with many people participating. There are several settings you have control of when attending a meet. You can mute your microphone or turn off your camera. You do that by clicking on the gray microphone for mute or camera icon for video on the bottom of the screen. This will add a red microphone icon with a strike through on the top of your section on the screen and signals to everyone else that the microphone is off. If someone has their camera turned off, you won't see a live shot. Instead, you'll see their Google account profile picture or a static icon with just their first initial. Even when people are on a video call, there are times when they want to communicate via chat. This is useful when one person wants to share links to other files. It's also useful when asking for information from a larger group, or participants can send the group a message without interrupting the speaker. Anyone in the meeting can click on the chat icon on the top right of the screen and type a message to the rest of the group. So people with Google Workspace will experience Google Meet a bit different than people with Google Workspace. However, accessing the options in this section are very similar in both situations. If someone in the meeting wants to show a file or document that is on their computer with the rest of the group, they can share their screen by selecting Present Now. The option is highlighted here on the screen on the bottom right-hand corner. The person sharing their screen may have multiple windows open on their screen. When they select Present Now, Google will ask what they want to share. They can select what view they want to share with the other people in the meeting. So there's different ways that you can share the screen. Meet also allows you to record meetings in Google Drive, safely storing the recording for the meeting owner after recording is stopped or the meeting ends. The image here shows an example of what the recording meeting option looks like on the menu. The option to record is helpful for something like a live training session that you want to be able to reference later or share with people who weren't able to attend the live training. You may want to practice using Meet with a friend or trusted coworker. That will help you feel more comfortable with the technology and also with how you look and sound on the Meet. Here are some best practices for having a great Google Meet. When you're conducting or participating in a video call like Meet, you should keep your camera on. It makes a better impression and helps you stay more engaged. Choose a neutral background if you're able and reduce area clutter. An external microphone may provide better sound quality than one built into your device, and is especially helpful if you plan to conduct any virtual webinars. Last, when you're not speaking, mute your microphone and limit your moving around as not to distract from the person speaking. Now we're going to talk about another Google tool you can use to work with people from anywhere in the world. You've probably been in a situation where someone on your team created a document or spreadsheet, they emailed it to you, and someone else on the team asked for your thoughts. So you opened the file, made some changes, saved it as a version 2, and emailed it back. Your teammate made her own changes and saved it as her own file. After a few days of the three of you sending emails back and forth, no one knows which is the correct version. By storing files in Google Drive, you can share access to files, and everyone you share it with can make their changes to one file. Best of all, you can see those changes in real time. Signing into your Google account allows you access to all the products you'll see today. You only have to sign in once to be able to access Google Sheets, Docs, Slides, Photos, Forms, Gmail, Calendar, and lots of other applications. This screen shows the icons of Google applications available. Select the Google Apps icon. Here you'll see all Google applications that come with your account. Use the Google Apps menu to move between applications. And you can see that right there. They are pointing to it for you. Let's start off with Google Drive. You can find that by clicking on the grid icon at the upper right-hand corner of the screen as the animation shows you. If you're already in another Google app like Gmail, you can find the grid icon on the upper right corner there too. When you click on the grid icon, you'll see Google Drive icon, as well as icons from other Google applications. Most likely the ones you use the most will show up first. Feel free to arrange your apps the way you like. The link in the quick tip here goes to step-by-step instructions on everything you need to know about Google Drive, including uploading files from other software programs like Word and Excel. So that's what the quick tip is down below. So you would want to follow that link or type that link in. You can also access Google Drive as well as any of the individual apps from your mobile device. This screenshot shows the Google Drive icon on an iPhone. When you store your files in Google Drive, you can access them anywhere, anytime you are connected to the internet. And if you know there's a good chance you're going to be without internet access, you can turn on the available offline setting for files you think you might need offline. We'll go into that in a few minutes. As I mentioned earlier, Google Drive is a tool that allows you to save all kinds of files in one secure location. This slide shows a screenshot of a Google Drive that shows saved documents, PDFs, and slides presentations. So you can tell by the icon of what exactly is on your Drive account. When you store your files in Drive, you can give different people access to different files. For example, you created a draft agenda for a big event and you want everyone on your event planning committee to have access to the agenda. That's the path I'm showing you on the left side of your screen right now. But you also have a budget file and you only want one person to have access to that. That's the path on the right side of the screen that I'm showing you. Even better, you can give different people different levels of access to the file. People can either have access to edit a file, comment on a file without editing, or just view it without the ability to comment or make changes. You can also give people access to a computer folder and store a group of files in that folder. In that situation, everyone who has access to the folder will also have access to the files within the folder. And yes, you can give people access outside of your organization. That makes this perfect for sharing information with your clients and members. Now I'm going to show you how to create and collaborate on individual files. In order to create one of these files, you need to be in your Google account. The animation on the screen is showing you how to create a document in Google by clicking on the big plus sign button at the top, clicking on Google Docs in the menu, and then opening the Form a Template option. I'm going to use Google Docs for an example in this training, but starting a new file and collaborating on the file is the same for Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides. This presentation you're seeing right now was created in Google Slides. What's great about these tools is Google lets you start a blank file, or you can start off with one of the templates each tool provides. You can even create a default template to match your organization styles. When you're in your drive, like in the image I'm showing you now, click on New. Select the type of file you want to share, then select if you want a blank file or one from the template. If you're already in Docs app, your screen will look a bit different, but the process is very similar. Whether you're using a template or starting from a blank file, like I have in the image that you see now, Google automatically saves your work and the files for you. If you don't name it right away, you'll end up with a bunch of files in your Google Drive, all called Untitled Document, Untitled Spreadsheet, or Untitled Presentation. Today, I'm not going to show you how to use the basic word processing features in Google Docs. If you want more information on how to use those, you'll have to wait for the next class that I'm going to be posting. But at the end of today's presentation, I will share the training resources with you. I want to show you a feature that makes collaboration much easier. Once you create a document, you might want feedback from other people. I already mentioned that you can share files with other people. As I'm showing you here, there's a blue share button at the top right corner of the screen. When you click on that, you can add the emails of the people you want to share it with, and also assign their editing level. Here's how you can add comments to your files and ask others to contribute to them. First, click on or highlight the word or phrase you want to comment on. In this example, we used, "Have we started looking for her replacement?" There are a couple of different ways to add a comment. I recommend you go to the top of the screen and find the plus icon. At the top of the example here, we added a call out that says add comment. That's where the plus icon is. Click on that plus icon and you'll get a little pop-up where you can type in your comment. When you do that, everyone who has access to the file can see your comment. But you can also alert or assign someone to the comment. On the right side of the screen, I'm showing you Randy alerted and assigned a comment to Pamela. If you tag someone in a comment by typing a plus or @ sign and the email address of the person you want to alert. You can see in the example, Randy typed +Pamela@example.com and then typed in her comment. Once you do that, you're given the option to assign the comment to that person as well. This comment is assigned to Pamela, so now she knows she's responsible for answering and resolving the comment. When you alert or assign a comment to someone, they get an email notification. They can go into the document, read the comment, reply back, make changes, and resolve it if they wish. Any resolved comments disappear from the sidebar of the actual file, but all the communication is stored in the comment area, which can be accessed through the small gray callout box next to the larger blue Share button. This process would work the same way with Google Sheets and Slides. Here's an example of how the collaboration feature looks in Google Sheets. The screen shows where Pamela assigned a comment to Randy. Here's an example of how the collaboration feature looks in Slides. We are showing where Carissa assigned a comment to Madison. You can also save a file in another format such as a PDF. Here's a screenshot of how that works in Google Docs. Just go to the File menu, click Download, and you'll see your options. If you were in Google Sheets or Slides, you would be able to download those files into other similar spreadsheets or presentation types. And in case you were wondering, you can also open files that are built into other tools like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. You do that by going to the file, then Open. As I mentioned earlier, you may want to access some files offline. The Make Available Offline feature will allow you to access, edit, and save work in the files you indicate when you don't have an internet connection. But you do need to set this up while you have an internet connection. In this screenshot here, I'm showing you how to go to the File menu, scroll to Make Available Offline, and click Enable. Be sure you enable this feature for any files you think you'll need offline before you get stuck without an internet connection. Also, you must do this on the device you'll want to use to access the file offline. For example, if you want to use your phone to access a file while offline, go to the File, When Online from your phone, and adjust the setting there. All right, so here's recapping in our resources. Working remotely can be a great time to dive into new learning. Next, I'll share your next steps and training resources Google has to offer that you can access remotely. There are many different learning paths and options, so explore all of these tools and determine which ones make the most sense for you right now. Let's talk about your next steps to successfully collaborate, meet, and work remotely. First, try using Google Meet. Get used to it so you can have video meetings with others. Then, become familiar with Google Drive and all the functions of sharing files, commenting on them, and assigning action items to other people. I think you'll find this will make you much more efficient. And lastly, explore the training options Google has to offer. Most likely, you'll find something that's right for your needs. Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides are not the only apps that Google offers. You may also want to explore Forms, which is to create surveys to collect feedback from others, Sites, which allows you to create your own website for a business or to share your work portfolio, Photos, so you can store all your images in one place, YouTube, to learn or share through video content, and Play, to see what other apps are available if you have an Android device. If you want to sharpen your business and marketing skills, check out Primer. This is a free app you can download to your phone. If you have an Android device, you can download it from the Google Play Store. If you have an Apple device, you can download it from the App Store. This has a series of short, fun lessons that are less than 5 minutes each. This image here shows how Primer looks on a mobile app with the home screen for the tips for building a successful website course. Another great resource is our quick help videos. That would be Google's quick help videos. Get answers and learn how to make the most of Google tools in just a few minutes. You'll learn things like how to get your business listed on Google Search and Maps, how to create the YouTube channel for your business, and how to start a Google Meet conference. You can also check out the playlist, which that is underneath your quick tip there, to be able to watch it on YouTube. Grow with Google is a new initiative to help people prepare for work, find jobs, and grow their business. Job seekers can grow through skills in order to find new jobs and advance their careers. Teachers can learn how to put the latest technologies to work inside and outside the classroom. Small business owners can build their online presence and find new customers. Startups can learn how to get their ideas to exposure they need for success. Developers can sharpen their current skills and master new ones. Here are all the resources we mentioned in today's presentation. Check out these websites for more in-depth information on what I covered today. Well, that wraps up our presentation portion of today's workshop. So I'm really thanking all of you for being a part of our Grow with Google, Collaborate, Meet, and Work Remotely. There is a handout that is involved with this, and I'm going to include that into our class today. And I really, really hope that you got a lot out of this and you can share it with others. I'm more than willing to help and assist you with this in any way that I'm able to. So just get in contact with me. I would like to thank Screen-O-Matic for being able to let me record the screen today so I can bring you this presentation. Like always, I want to thank Grow with Google. And I would also like to thank PowerPoint, Microsoft, for allowing me to put this into a video for you. And as always, I'd like to thank YouTube for allowing us to have our channel. That way you guys can get the most out of it. And thank you to you, because if it wasn't for you, I'd have no reason to have these classes. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I look forward to seeing you in the next class. Hope you got a lot out of this. Have a great one. Bye.